Welcome back to BDU Shooting Academy. In episode 4, we're going to cover Recoil Management Part 1. There's a lot of things that you can do to help manage recoil. A lot of it has to do with the way you grip the gun, the way that you present the gun out, and how you stand, your posture, your weight distribution, and all that. So in Part 1, we're going to cover mostly the grip tension and what muscles to activate, what muscles to deactivate and relax. All right, so let's get it started. Let's build our grip back with the same instructions that we had in episode 1. We're going to get nice and high on the gun to eliminate any pivot point that you have between your hand and the gun, and as much surface area covered on the gun. So if you notice, both my arms are extending straight out in a more even fashion. That means my shoulders and my head, my hips are going to be squared to the target. So push it all the way out, straight arms, and what you want to try to do is also bring your elbows up a little bit to maybe about here, and try not to lock your elbows out because you lose a lot of grip capability. So right at about where it's about to go straight, you just keep that there, elbows a little bit out. That helps you put more tension on the gun and also creates a straighter line from your thumb to your shoulder, because you want your recoil pivot point to be on your shoulder, not your elbows and not your wrists, okay? Because the longer, straighter line that you have when the gun recoils, it'll go up and straight back down. If you try to recoil on your wrists, it does this little dance, and when you try to bring it back, you're having to force it back down. So what happens is you kind of dip a little bit too low and you have to go back up and down just like that. And that takes too long for you to get your sights back. But if the gun recoils on your elbows, it's a little bit straighter, but still the gun breaks a little bit high. You have to pretty much force your arms back down. On your shoulders, when it recoils, it's more of a straight line, and it pretty much almost all the time will bounce all the way back to where you originally started. So in order to keep everything nice and locked and straight, what we're having to do is use our forearm muscles to apply tension to your wrist to keep it nice and locked. So when we're holding out here, we're going to flex our forearms. We're going to bring our elbows out just a little bit like this, and then we're going to relax our shoulders, somewhat relax your chest, your back muscles. Let everything kind of allow this to be a little bit more mobile, so that way when the gun recoils, there's not so much tension that you muscle the gun too hard down. And that'll help the gun go up and straight back down, almost back to zero or to zero. Okay, so again, if you have the gun out, the only muscles that you should be really actively activating is all your forearm muscles, your grip, and then everything else kind of just falls into place into like a straight, soft line. So that way it can absorb that recoil and come back to zero with a little bit less noise. All right, so that's it for Part 1. In Part 2, we're going to hit the range, and we're going to talk about how your posture and everything else plays into recoil management. So we'll see you in episode 5 on the range.